Okay, so for how interesting this concept is in the film, I couldn't help but think to myself during it. I'm like, all right, if a black man were to start showing up in random people's dreams that they ain't never seen before, and they seen him in person, that brother would be arrested. That brother would be in jail. Ain't no way a black man gonna show up in random people's dreams, white people, black people. Ain't no way a black dude showing up in people's dreams with no relation to them whatsoever, and ain't everybody just gonna be cool about it and make him a viral sensation. Absolutely not. That ain't happening. But you know, white privilege. No, not really. No, I'm just messing with you. But I mean, Nicolas Cage privilege. We just say because he's the only guy crazy enough to pull stuff like this off. But regardless, this is dream scenario. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and this is my review for Dream Scenario, starring Nicolas Cage, Julianne Nicholson, Dylan Galua, and Michael Cera, and was directed by Christopher Borghi. And our story basically follows a teacher who, in his very boring, nonchalant life, finds some way to liven it up by not on purpose, but he just starts appearing randomly in people's dreams and they start to notice him in the street, and he's not really doing anything in these dreams at first. He's kind of just there and people just start to recognize him for those matters, and then it becomes a big social sensation, and then all of a sudden things just go completely haywire. And basically this is a story about how a man just has to navigate his life after becoming one of the most famous people on earth, and in a way that he did not expect and nobody expected. That is the best way I could probably describe this plot, just because that's really what it is. That's really what this thing becomes. But regardless, I'm going to talk about what I liked and what I didn't like about the film. And starting with what I liked about the film, Nicolas Cage was amazing. Nicolas Cage did an absolutely fantastic job. Not and he's honestly perfect, not only for the movie itself, not only for this concept, not only for this character, but just he's just perfect in general. Like this guy, this may have been for me one of the best roles I've seen Nicolas Cage play in. Like I understand like one thing I will say about Nicolas Cage as a character actor, I love just how into his characters he truly gets. Like he fully commits 100%, and his movie that came out, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, really just shifted my entire viewpoint on Nicolas Cage, because while he has been in a mass array of movies, and shout out to Community for making that joke about there was a case study, or there's a class where there was a class that the subject was basically was Nicolas Cage good or bad. And no, that's literally what Nicolas Cage's career is. It's like, is he good or is he good or is he bad? Because it's just it's a lot of in between in that. Because there's movies where he's really good, such as this one, and then there's movies where he's really bad, like Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. And honestly, look, I love Nicolas Cage in this movie. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. I thought he was funny. I thought his character was very charming at times. I thought he captured the emotions of this character and just how his responses to this situation and what could possibly go on were so real and just very believable. I honestly liked how awkward his character was too. Just like everything about this character here, like I feel like only Nicolas Cage could have pulled off in his most Nicolas Cage ways. Like this dude is truly an immensely talented actor, and like I said, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent really just completely shifted my mindset on Nicolas Cage, and now I can only see him as this just very dedicated man to his craft, instead of just a very crazed man who just goes off the rails sometimes. And honestly, with his up and down filmography, I can't help but appreciate this one here. Like this one was pretty damn good. I really enjoyed Nicolas Cage's performance. On top of that, I enjoyed the concept of this film. I thought this was a very interesting concept, as far as a man just with a very bland life all of a sudden just becoming a famous sensation overnight by appearing in people's dreams and like his response to it, how he would react to the fame and things like that. Like that's really a note to just like anybody that becomes a viral sensation overnight in the real world. Like, what does that feel like? Like, honestly, I feel like this movie really gives you, wow. Honestly, the more I think about it and sit here, the fact that it's called Dream Scenario is kind of crazy, because it's like if your dreams were to actually come true and you become a big viral sensation overnight, even though whether or not you wanted to or not, if your dream comes true, not that his actual dream was coming true, he was just in people's dreams, but if your dream were to come true and if your dreams were to come true and you basically were to become a big sensation overnight, what would the scenario be to play out? And that's basically what this is, a dream scenario. That's actually very clever. But regardless, I love the concept of this film because I thought it was very interesting, and it makes for very just crazy material throughout this film and very crazy scenes and crazy concepts. Another person that I absolutely adored in this film, the person who played his wife, Julianne Nicholson. Yeah, Julianne Nicholson, I thought she did a great job. Loved her as the wife. I thought their relationship was very nice, and I liked his kids as well. I'll say this about the film itself. I don't think the second half, as far as the second half of this film goes, I don't necessarily think they knew how to end it. Like, of course, with something like this, appearing in people's dreams on a consistent basis and you not doing nothing, at some point that is going to go wrong, and this movie definitely dives into that. But it went in a direction that I didn't necessarily think it was going to go in, and I personally don't think they knew how to end this movie, because it just, at the end, they completely just do something that is completely out of left field, and I did not expect for this movie to go at all. But that's really why I'm bringing up the fact that it's kind of, if you were to become an overnight social sensation, this is the direction it might go in. That's where this movie is coming from in a sense. But I just really feel like the second half of this film kind of started to go in a direction where it's like, okay, you had me and I could see why we're going in this direction, but you are definitely starting to lose me just a tad bit. Wasn't the biggest fan of the way it ended, just because I can't go into complete details about that. I won't go into big details about that. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of the way this film ended, just because for me, I just didn't necessarily think that was a fair ending, if that makes sense to this character, for this character. I didn't think it was fair that he just had to suffer that way. But I mean, honestly, like I said, fame can give you a bunch of different realities that you don't expect, and that's really the gist of what this movie tries to present to you. And while I definitely see that, I still just wasn't the biggest fan of what the second half of this movie was trying to do. Or I'll say maybe not even the entire second half of the film, because when things start to go wrong, it's definitely gets into a very crazier and very entertaining portion of the film. But then I'll probably say the last quarter of this movie just kind of completely loses me, and I'm just like, I would have did something else, but okay, you can stick with that. But regardless, Nicolas Cage does an amazing job throughout the entirety of the film. Michael Cera was very good in this film as well. There's some awkward scenes in this movie, but I mean, when you get Nicolas Cage in a film, that's bound to happen. You are bound to get some awkwardness, bound to get some cringy shit in there, and it's just Nicolas Cage doing his Nicolas Cage thing. But I can't sit here and say that I did not enjoy this movie. Can't sit here and say I did not have a good time in this movie. A lot of people. I got just pretty frustrated because I just remembered the old man talking relentless and trying to guess the plot to the damn movie the entire time, and he just completely pissed me off. He tried to ruin my experience in this movie. But look, if you're a talker in this movie, just learn how to whisper. Like, I one of my biggest pet peeves is talking, and I realize I can't stop everybody in the theater from talking, but please, if you are a talker, please just learn to just whisper. Just whisper, so the entire row doesn't have to hear you, because this dude was here and I'm on the other side of the row. I should not have to hear your every thought in the movie, especially if it's not even close to what the heck is going on in the film. Actually, I'd probably been more pissed off if his theories were right, so maybe I'm happy about that. But regardless, Dream Scenario is a very good movie. This is a very crazy, interesting concept, one that I think honestly, I think the more you watch it, you'll get a lot more out of it from the film itself and get a lot more from what the message is trying to get to you. I really like this movie. It was a pleasant surprise. Did not know necessarily what to expect from it going in, but leaving out, had a damn good time at the movies. And for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give Dream Scenario a 3.75 out of 5 stars. All right, so Dream Scenario, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Look, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to comment below your thoughts on the film. If you haven't seen it, go check it out if you want to. It's a pretty, if you're into Nick Cage, you're going to love this thing for sure. A24 movies, they're weird. They do, and it's get pretty weird in this film too. But be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff and so much more, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.